Hello, welcome back to the workshop. It's fantastic to have you here again. On today's episode, I'm going to talk a little bit about some stuff that 3M sent me. So, here it is.
Thank you, 3M. That's really kind of you. Okay, so here's the first thing, right?
That is the best thing I have ever seen. Ready?
Okay, you know, grinding away, but then you want to speak?
What? Yes! So the first thing I'm going to talk about, there we go, I can see, is their respirator. They sent me the 6503 respirator, and you know, watching what you breathe in the workshop is really important. You know, especially when you're using a grinder, you're putting a lot of fine particles up into the air. So wearing a respirator anytime you're doing any amount of grinding, it's a good thing. These little things, you know, like you get them and you think, oh, that's super easy to put on and off, and you know, it's easier than putting on the big bulky thing. But the thing is, breathing through one of these is always way less fun. So whenever I've done any amount of grinding, I've always put on a respirator anyway, and the respirators I already happen to have are all 3M anyway. And they send me this, and I can unequivocally say this is the best respirator I've ever used. When I put it on, it doesn't interfere with my glasses, which is so good, because it's nice to not have glasses that stick up here on your face. And here's the best part, so I'll put it on right now.
Look how quick that was. Easy as can be. Now there's no excuse for me to not have a respirator on when I grind.
If you didn't hear that, look how easy that was to put on. Now there's no excuse for me to not have a respirator on when I grind. And you just saw that? That's like the best part of this respirator, is how quick and easy it is to pull it off and pull it off.
There's this little lever right here.
Now I can speak. And that makes
wearing a respirator
actually not that bad. Breathing through it's super easy. I like it. So that is something that I am super grateful for them to have sent me, because that's certainly going to keep me safe, and that gives me a lot more motivation to have it on. So thanks, 3M. Now, the next thing, they're hearing defenders. So so basically here's the backstory. You know, a lady from 3M contacts me, or from the 3M marketing company contacts me and says they want to send me some 3M gear. And I'm like, well, hell yeah, I already wear 3M gear. This is easy to talk about because I love 3M gear. 3M gear is always my choice whenever I have a choice, because it's always the best. So here is the hearing defenders that I've been wearing for probably almost 3 years straight now. Pretty much every single day these have been on my ear for almost all of the day. They're the 3M Peltor Optim 2s, right? And I love them, they're brilliant. They attenuate the noise pretty well. They're the one down from the highest rating at the time that I bought them, and they're nice and comfortable and nice and light. Well, they sent me these things, and I wondered to myself, well, why would they bother going to the effort of putting a new rebrand on them? And then I looked at the documentation they sent. These are not Optim 2 rated, with like an attenuation of 28 or 30 decibels. These are they're like they're top rated. So this has an attenuation of like 32 decibels, which is unbelievable for like how slim they are. And on my head, they're perfectly comfortable. They sit around my little miniature ears perfectly nicely. And on the top of my head, nice and slim and flat, easy peasy. I like wearing earbuds when I'm in the workshop, and that's why I really like the high attenuation, because the catch-22 you get into is if you don't have ear defenders with a high enough attenuation taking away enough of the noise, you have to turn your earbuds up, which kind of defeats the purpose of having ear defenders, because you're going to go deaf from the earbuds and the podcasts you're playing instead of the actual noise around you. So the nice thing about these is I can fit my little earbuds, the Bluetooth ones, which are bigger, and my normal earbuds inside my ears, put these on, and I can play my podcasts really nice and quietly and hear them just perfectly. They take a lot of the noise away. They're very good. Now here's my point of contention. Come on. Fluorescent green? Are you kidding me? At least I'm never gonna lose them. But you know, imagine if you're working in your workshop and a client comes in and they see these light fluorescent green beacons around your ears. But of course, I'm much more concerned about the function over the form of the stuff that's hopefully, in the future, going to allow me to listen to my grandkids playing without me having to be deaf and listen through, sorry, what? What? Number one rule in a working environment, there must be no white colors. That is a problem. Nice little white foam in there, it's nice and super soft. But if we want to maintain the illusion that we're not super dirty the whole time in this workshop, we need everything black. That way you can wear a t-shirt for like 3 days straight and you don't even know it's dirty. That's what you want. Everything must be black in this workshop. They sent me some eye protection. That looks like perfectly good eye protection. Light green. They look like they work really, really well. They're almost impenetrable by sparks because they've got these little foam rings all the way around that, you know, do a very good job of kind of sealing your eyes away from all sorts of dust in the air, which is very good. But another thing, it goes back to the ear defenders. Light green, white. They do come with a little strap, so you could kind of strap them around your head and, you know, have them be elasticated, you know, and they seem like they'd hold pretty well. I don't wear eye protection. Sam has been using them. He liked them. But again, they just look a little ridiculous. The toss-up is, in the working environment, is you want to be safe, first and foremost. So the function is right there, but the number two is you don't want being safe to be a nuisance. And here's the thing, if you're working in a workshop and you have clients coming in and out, if you're working in a workshop and everything looks like it's dirty, and it looks like it's filthy, when, yeah, it's not really filth, to be honest. It's just, you know, a little bit of dust. Are you gonna wanna put those on when they look completely black and you knew what they looked like when you bought them? See how these have been in the workshop for just a little while, and they already look filthy here on the light green? That's why you can't have light shades on this stuff. That's gonna disincentivize people from putting them on their head. There's gotta be a certain balance between function and form, the aesthetic, so that you actually put them on in the first place. I've got your electronic ear defenders, I've got all sorts of 3M eye protection, I've used your abrasives. Like, everything you make is always the best, and whenever I have a choice, I always buy it. But come on, light green? I realized the shade of green on these glasses. It's the same shade of green as my power hammer. So, I don't know where that leaves this video, but bye-bye.